This book, The Dynasty, written by Jeff Benedict, this is going to be awesome to kind of unravel. Now, obviously, we are a daily sports show. We are a daily sports entity. We are the only sports network that was not given a copy of this to read before it came out. So we are only taking quotes and listening to quotes from other people who got the preview of the book and what they've been putting out. Now, remember, I am a human who has never read a book in my life, ever. That is not just you get it.
Hoopla.
Satirical?
Hyperbole,
Yeah.
exaggeration.
Hyperbole, there it is.
Hyperbolic.
Yeah, you get it. And by the way, if I had, probably know that word quicker. But I literally have never read a book. But this is one where I'm enjoying the quotes that are coming out of it. I might invest some time to kind of snoop around. Mm-hmm. I believe the book is about the dynasty, the greatest dynasty in the history of professional sports, which was the New England Patriots for the last 20 years. You're talking 6 championships, 9 Super Bowls in a league that parity is king. They completely flipped that on its head. And everybody, all the quotes that have been coming out have been about the end of the relationship. It all starts kind of unraveling on what we thought we knew about behind the scenes between Belichick and Brady, but was actually being said and released was, no, they're kumbaya, it's just time to start new stuff. We respect each other, we appreciate each other. Turns out that was not the case, as we all expected. And if the quotes coming out are 100% accurate, which we have no idea how they're getting them, Gisele Bündchen might sell the book here.
Probably.
Her quotes are selling the book.
Yeah.
Obviously, Tom Brady's wife, who Tom Brady talked about their relationship with Howard Stern on Sirius, about how they almost got divorced a couple years ago. Like, they are a team, those two. And we've heard the quotes publicly where Gisele said, well, he can't throw and catch the ball immediately after Super Bowl. That blew up because he felt like you're throwing Wes Welker, I think it was. Wes Welker under the bus or whatever. So Gisele, I feel like, is a savage, always has been a savage, and now we're getting more and more quotes. Allegedly, she told Robert Kraft that she pointed out that Belichick treated Brady, and this is the one, like fucking Johnny Foxborough. It was bad enough to never voice approval. It was bullshit to still be dressing down the most accomplished quarterback in league history during team meetings and treating his personal trainer and best friend like some kind of outcast. When the conversation shifted to the future, Brady and Bündchen indicated it was time for them to make some changes that were best interest for their family. Among other things, they were contemplating a change of scenery. Kraft wasn't surprised by their feelings towards Belichick. He hadn't, however, expected to hear that Brady and Bündchen wanted to leave New England. Woo! Great writing there by Jeff Benedict. Incredible quote by Gisele. I love that Gisele, it's alleged in this thing, the way the people who have read the book, we didn't get to do that. It came out today. Nobody got a preview. The way they're setting it up is that Kraft invited them over for a conversation. There's like 6 different conversations that Kraft set up between Belichick, himself, and Brady. One guy sat on a chair on this side. Tom Brady sat on a couch to his left. Kraft illustrated how much they both mean to him. Then they talked and said they respected each other, but it was obvious there was still distance. So then Kraft had to work a conversation with Tom Brady and Gisele, and then he was trying to work a conversation with Belichick, and then Belichick and Brady had a conversation, and they just realized it wasn't going to work. But I guess in the conversation with Kraft, Gisele, and Tom Brady, Gisele had those quotes, and I don't know who told this. Did Robert Kraft tell this author? He was like, I had a meeting with Tom and Gisele, and I think she said to me, like, Belichick treats him like fucking Johnny Foxborough. Like, imagine Kraft saying that to the author. Or did Gisele say that she said that? Or did Tom? Like, how are they getting these quotes? So you always have to be like, is this bullshit or not? But I like that Gisele was like, because everybody else that's the Patriot way. Everybody gets treated the same. Team meetings, Tom Brady will get yelled at, and that's like kind of been propped up for a long time. Mm-hmm. And Gisele and Tom at home are like, are we not about fucking done? Am I fucking Johnny Foxborough? What a great nickname. And now he's Tampa Bay, obviously. But Johnny Foxborough was fed up with the way he was being treated. It wasn't just him, it was his whole family. Allegedly, according to this book, if their sources are accurate. And who are their sources? They say Kraft.
Yeah, Kraft, team executives, wives, Willie McGinnis, Brewski, Belichick, I believe, is on the list. I think Brady's on the list.
Yeah, it's Robert Kraft, Jonathan Kraft, Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, Drew Bledsoe, Paul Tagliabue, Randy Moss, Willie McGinnis, Roger Goodell, Teddy Bruschi, Rob Gronkowski, Vince Wilfork.
Drew Bledsoe. Yeah, hey, you remember when you got slaughtered and then this whole thing started?
Damn near died.
I mean, you made great wine and all that stuff, but I mean, that was really, worst moment of your life, almost died.
Yeah.
And then you almost had, it started this. Drew Bledsoe, I would like to know his thoughts on it. He seems like a super cool guy, super chill guy. But it does go back to the beginning. But the only quotes we're hearing right now is about the end because it's the most dramatic and controversial and all that. So everything we thought was happening behind closed doors at the Patriots turns out was happening behind closed doors.
Wow, that Tom needed to be. He's such a diva. Needed to be pampered so much that he thought he had to leave.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
you're a fucking idiot.
His wife is in his ear, snake in the grass. But how often is it that wives go and meet with owners and the quarterback? Like
No, Kraft
did
called
Peyton
for
Manning-
it. I mean, Kraft called for the meeting. The quotes that I read, the Kraft called for the meeting with Tom, and I would assume they went to Tom's house potentially to do
Probably.
it. He was trying. You got to remember, at this point, Kraft is trying to recruit. He's trying to how do we make you happy? He's like Dr. Phil. Like, how do we make you happy? How do we make you happy? I'll come to your house. I'll come to your house. We'll set up a meeting between you two. We'll meet all together. It sounds like all that was happening. So I would assume Giselle is a part of the business decisions in that household. I think that was something that Tom talked about in that Howard Stern. I don't know how normal.
Connor,
I have no
she
idea.
can't be a part of the meeting in her own house. She has to stay in the kitchen.
What I'm saying, that is despicable that your mind even goes there
Now-
to think of things like that.
That's Boston.
Nick. But no, not at all. But she's not on the team. Okay, she doesn't wear a New England uniform
She's
when
on,
we go out
literally.
on Sundays.
She is on TB12's team though.
Yeah, which is his own team,
High-ranking
clearly.
officer.
And Guerrero.
By the way,
also some issues.
who Kraft was talking? Hey, I need to have a meeting with TB12 here.
Yeah, the quarterback, not the husband. Okay, he doesn't
You
want to
know,
have a meeting with
no,
Tom
the-
Brady, the
You're
husband.
such an
Enterprise.
idiot.
No, he wants to have a meeting with Tom Brady, the quarterback. fellas.
Listen, I understand that no matter what side you're on here, there's going to be you're going to have to dig your feet in and all this.
I'm on the public side.
Whoa. The public of Boston
No,
or the
the-
public of everywhere?
The public of football. I mean, in what world does this happen where someone has someone in their ear?
Well, you know,
you deserve better treatment. And then they leave. I
Well,
mean,
that's every relationship.
that's what happens.
But that's actually what marriage is, I think. That is
Fuck
potentially what marriage is. Yeah. But I don't know. I think if you think that Tom Brady was the reason for all this, you're always going to think that. But whenever you say, in what world does this happen? This doesn't happen. Like the best dynasty in the history of professional sports, a guy who's the greatest quarterback of all time in everybody's eyes, basically, and he's getting treated like a rookie still. That doesn't happen. So like that is in what world that can go on both sides of the thing. Like it would be awesome to see Peyton Manning. Like get treated the way that Tom Brady did, and just see how it goes. Just see how it goes. I don't know how many quarterbacks who've been successful would have handled it for 20 years or whatever, but that's because he was pick 199 or whatever, right?
Yep.
So it kind of always had that chip on his shoulder. You could see how because him and Peyton's relationship grew. They said they went on little getaways, just those two talking football. This has all been documented, and on that NFL Top 100 show when Tom Brady. Now that we know what is all happening behind closed doors, and Tom was at the table, Belichick was at the table, Rich Eisen was at the table, and they were talking about football. Listening to that's hilarious to think about them just swallowing all their feelings towards each other and just like we got to do TV here. But he talks about how Peyton taught him a certain play that they actually used against the Colts 50 times, and their relationship started to grow, I would assume, because everybody was kind of always pitting them against each other. They're golfing at Jim Nance's house.
Yeah.
They were doing all that. I would assume conversations led to Peyton, did this ever happen to you? And Peyton be like, maybe first year, second year, but after that, I don't need you doing what you're doing now. I would just assume that happened. And then Tom Brady probably talked to other people. It's like, is this normal? And then Tom Brady, and they're like, no. And then Tom Brady's like, are we kidding me here? Like this, but there was a lot of success in it. So you can't really bash it, but you could see both sides in this whole thing. Why Tom and Giselle would be pissed, and also if you're a Patriots fan, it's like, oh yeah, you win though, and now you're bitching about it. It's like, well, I mean, I'm an adult and I'm 40 years old now at this point. You could talk to me as if I am a grown ass man if you would like to.
Yeah, Montana, I believe he also said something to Brady.
Oh yeah,
about-
Montana came out and just. I was talking to Tom in a private conversation that he would not want anybody here, but yeah, I assume same type of stuff was happening in those combos.
I mean, for sure. But with Peyton Manning, too, and even Montana, did these guys have any coaches that were on the caliber of Belichick?
Bill Walsh.
That had a system that worked that well?
Bill Walsh.
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
No.
nobody's on the caliber of Bill Belichick in football. I mean, that's the same thing as Tom Brady, though. Nobody's been on the caliber of Tom, but now we will find out. Was it because of Tom or was it because of Bill? Because they've gone their separate ways. Tom's assembled his soldiers. Okay, here we go. I'm going down to BA, offense guru, quarterback whisperer. I'm bringing my guys Gronk in. We got weapons. And Bill Belichick's saying, oh, wait till you see what I do. I'm going to tape a Subway commercial. I cut the sleeves off a guy's suit and tell him not to eat the fried chicken. And then I'm going to pay $1 million for Cam Newton to come in after 9 unemployed for 86 days.